a number one contender,
who's the number one contender?
I mean, this outside of Wilder situation, any weight class. If a champion loses his belt and it's not the number one contender that won it, the number one contender is entitled to that fight.
Who's the number one contender? Who's the number one contender?
At the time he lost, it was Dylan White.
What's going on with Dylan White right now? Where he at? He knocked out. He trying to get a Povetkin rematch.
Yeah, he got knocked out by
so that's
Povetkin.
not an issue. Why are you bringing up an issue that doesn't exist? Tyson Fury's not trying to fight Dylan White, neither Povetkin. He's trying to fight Kabali, a nobody.
You hear me, big dog?
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is David down in Tennessee, man. I was down in the last live chat. Dude named Anthony's like, hey, call in. So had a couple inputs on some of the things you been going over and talking about, and a little insight on the game from my perspective. Maybe get your thoughts on this thought process. But I do want to agree with you with Terrence Crawford. He a dog, always gonna be a dog. He ain't gonna get them fights until you get away from Bob Arum, man. There's a lot of politics in boxing that prevent a lot of these big fights. But I wanted to touch on the Wilder thing a little bit. I noticed some of the videos he had about the glove, and I agree. Patton did look suspect in them gloves. You know what I'm saying? Like I agree with you on the pad. But I will say, as a team in boxing, it's the coach's job to catch those pads being missing, or if there's anything wrong with hand wraps being dipped in water, turned into a cast, or gloves being off. That trainer has to catch that prior to going in the ring, similar to how Mayweather did before he fought Maidana, you know what I mean? But on the flip side, with Wilder, a lot of people, man, this is going to go a little deep, a lot of people calling for the third fight. They want to see the third fight. And I will tell you from experience, once a fighter gets dropped like that, once you touch that canvas, they call it like losing your virginity. Once you touch that canvas, you kind of turn into a different fighter. Some fighters can bounce back. But it would be wild for Wilder to take it back to the drawing board, get a tune-up fight before he step back in there with Fury. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna knock Fury. He's a talented fighter. He's slick, and he can move to be his size. But you kind of need to take it back to the basics and touch up on some of them fundamentals. As far as fighting backwards, fighting off the back foot, turning fighters, knowing how to get a boxer off you when he put his weight on you. It's like some fundamentals he might have missed because he started late. But the thing about Fury not wanting to fight him for this third fight goes into the politics side. They say something about, he missed his rematch clause time, which I would have to, if that did happen, I have to attribute that to his team. The lawyer should have caught that, you know what I'm saying? Coaches should have caught the glove thing. And, Wilder was at the top, so it's like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but you still got to perfect your craft like Terrence Crawford, you know what I'm saying? He said, hey, man, I'm going to work on this southpaw even if my coaches told me not to. I'm going to perfect this, so I got another weapon in my arsenal. But the thing with Fury, you got to think about it from the United States across the pond type thing. Fury got them belts. Let's say they missed the rematch clause or whatever. If you fight Joshua, them belts stand over in bricks. You know what I'm saying? They stand over across the pond. And that's the way those promoters over there want it, because that's where all the money at, the heavyweight division. So any way they can weasel out of this Wilder fight, they can. But it's really a blessing in disguise because it gives Wilder his time to get his facilities back straight, get his team back straight, get his fundamentals down. So when he do come back, don't matter who it is, he's a force to be reckoned with. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, I got to disagree with you all the way on that for multiple reasons. Well, let's start off with the first point you mentioned. I'm going to start off with the last one because I don't want to forget this one. Now, as far as Wilder getting, kind of like the winner of the Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, Wilder don't want that. Wilder want his revenge right away because he feel like Anthony Joshua gonna beat him, because now Tyson Fury can't cheat and Anthony Joshua beat him. Now Deontay Wilder look extremely horrible. So he want to get his revenge on Tyson Fury himself. He don't want Anthony Joshua to get the bag beating Tyson Fury while Tyson Fury had to cheat against him. And obviously, if he's not going to be able to get his match now, he probably never will against Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury just don't want to fight him no more. To start off, but to start off from the first point you made, which is you said why his team didn't catch it is his team responsibility. Yeah, you're right on that. But obviously, there's a lot of corruption in the sport. And I think this was a setup, period. Cotto trainer didn't bust Margarito cheating. He gave Margarito the benefit of the doubt. But you can't blame Cotto for that, because obviously Margarito cheated. We're always going to blame the cheater for cheating, not the innocent fighter for being innocent. I'm not going to blame an innocent person for being innocent while defending the cheater. I will never do that, right? And as far as, but I'm just saying, obviously now he's more mindful, but at the end of the day, his trainer or whoever it is, they got to be an asshole to get their job done. This is the lesson you could get out of that. Another point you mentioned about the rematch clause being expired. The rematch clause lasts for a year. Plus, when it comes to the rematch clause, the way it works, you get a rematch as soon as you activate it. Wilder activated the rematch clause a week right after the rematch. So Tyson Fury owed him a trilogy, right? Now, they could have fought already, but Tyson Fury and Bob Arum kept blaming the pandemic by saying, hey, we don't want to fight without a crowd, so on and so forth. So,
yeah, I hear something about that.
It's Tyson Fury himself and Bob Arum that said that they don't want to fight without a crowd. So Wilder was like, you know what? Okay, fine. We push it off to whenever you guys want it with a crowd, whenever that's possible. Then you see Errol Spence fighting with a crowd, but Bob Arum didn't push for a fight in Texas or things of that sort. He still wanted probably on the north side or the east side. Nevertheless, when the fight was going to come to fruition, December 19th, Fox and ESPN agreed. They had a mutual agreement to push the fight January because that wasn't a good date. These both companies, ESPN is Tyson Fury company that he fights for, they made that decision. So Tyson Fury, all of a sudden, he want to pull out? Nah, you can't do that. He wanted to fight Kabaili. You said it's politics, right? At the end of the day, the UK want that fight to happen in the UK. But you always got to be mindful that Tyson Fury is not fighting Anthony Joshua right away. He was trying to fight Kabaili. Hold on. Why would you want to fight Kabaili? Why wouldn't you just honor your trilogy the month right after? Yeah, but he want to fight Kabaili. Yeah, he want to fight Kabaili for $5 million instead of making $50 million fighting Deontay Wilder. So if he didn't cheat, that should be easy money, especially the way he put Deontay Wilder down, like you said. And the last thing, the point you made, Wilder could possibly not be the same. Remember, Wilder didn't get knocked out. Wilder was still on his feet fighting back. But there's been multiple fighters that fought in the past, got stopped, got knocked out. I mean, Cotto, come to mind, Manny Pacquiao. He got knocked out in a very devastating fashion. He came back better than ever. Deontay Wilder, he didn't even suffer a knockout. He just got dropped. You could tell Tyson Fury tampered with his gloves. So he felt like he's still the same, and he want his revenge. He felt like, listen, I brought you out of the mud. I gave you an opportunity. I gave you a 50-50 split. Yep. And you just cheated me and went across the pond. That's not going to fly. So we have to be mindful of these things. And you think Tyson Fury cheated, right?
Now, I'm going to be very real with you. I don't know if it was his coach. I don't know if it was Tyson Fury. I will say the padding in the glove was like it was redistributed.
Right. So
but I will say this again. I mean, that's been going on since boxing started. And on a professional level, your team got to catch it because it ain't going to stop. Something's going to continue to happen. I'm not saying it's okay to cheat, but the team has to catch it. That's the main point I'm making on that.
Yeah, but we know
form of fashion, because me and you both know we can harp on it, we can talk about it. They're not going to get that man his W back, You know what I'm saying?
We're not asking for the W
in the
back
fight.
because, see, we're not asking for the W back because obviously when it comes
But
to that,
even-
there's a lot of
with
politics. Yeah, but let me say this. There's a lot of politics that come into play with that. The casinos, a lot of people bet on the fight. So if they reverse the win,
Yeah,
the people are going to want their money back. The people are going to want their money back that lost money on betting on Deontay Wilder, right? But
Yeah.
what Wilder's asking for is his trilogy. He want to get justice,
Now
not in the courtroom.
That's the point.
He want to get his justice with his right hand. So all I'm saying is Tyson Fury has a rematch to honor, because you can see as soon as they went to mediation, what happened? Tyson Fury fight against Khabib got canceled because it was ruled that Tyson Fury, hey, you got to honor your trilogy. You can't be fighting Khabib during mediation. That's why that fight got canceled. That's just a little further proof that Tyson Fury owes Deontay Wilder a trilogy. The fact that he don't want to hop in with the ring further proves that he cheated. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure on time, so go ahead and make your last point.
I guess you might know this, and I might know this, but a lot of people out there don't know. In order for the trilogy to happen, you do have a rematch clause, but in order for the rematch clause to be inactive, Deontay Wilder got to pay the number one contender step-aside money, because he's entitled to that title fight first. Now, if no step-aside money...
Hold on. Repeat that. You said... Say it again, because I'm a little confused over the comment you made.
The rematch clause. Every fight has a rematch clause, right?
Right.
But as number one contender, if I'm the number one contender and you lose the belt, I'm entitled to that first fight unless you pay me step-aside money.
Who's the number one contender? Who's the number one contender?
Man, it was either I don't know. I just know this how the rules of the game work.
That's not how it worked, because the way Wilder activated his rematch. But mind you, hold on. The way the rules work, Wilder activated his rematch right away a week after the fight. So the way the rules work, Tyson Fury owes him a rematch right away. Tyson Fury mandatory is not due anymore because Dillian White got knocked out by Povetkin. So that's not even a problem. That's out of the way. And Tyson Fury is not even trying to fight his mandatory. He's trying to fight an unknown fighter, Khabib, that no one ever heard of, right? So, like I said, either way you look at it, Tyson Fury is guilty.
I can't argue with you,
but there's no argument. You're not arguing because there's no argument, because the facts remain the same. Tyson Fury owes Deontay Wilder his trilogy, and he's trying to get out of the fight because he clearly cheated, regardless of whose mistake it was. Only a cheater knows how to get away with cheating. And Tyson Fury thinks outside of the box when it comes to cheating. So ain't no telling how he got the job done, but we know he got the job done because our eyes tell us he got the job done. We could clearly see his right glove tampered with, because we could see all his four knuckles. You know what I'm saying? So anyways.
I respect your content and I respect your argument, but I'm just going to keep it a buck with you.
You ain't keeping it a buck.
Wilder.
You ain't keeping it a buck, my man.
Wilder. Look, I'm keeping it a buck with you with the step-aside money. Look, I've been in the boxing
What step-aside money? Wilder refused the step-aside money. Wilder, they tried to give him step-aside money, but Wilder refused the step-aside money because he won his trilogy. Tyson Fury is obligated to fight Deontay Wilder a third time because Wilder refused the step-aside money. So what's step-aside money you talking about?
Outside of Wilder's situation, Tyson Fury's situation, if a number one contender,
who's the number one contender?
I mean, this outside of Wilder's situation, any weight class, if a champion loses his belt and it's not the number one contender that won it, the number one contender is entitled to that fight.
Who's the number one contender? Who's the number one contender?
At the time he lost, it was Dillian White.
What's going on with Dillian White right now? Where he at? He knocked out. He's trying to get a Povetkin rematch.
Yeah, he got knocked out by
so that's
Povetkin.
not an issue. Why are you bringing up an issue that doesn't exist? Tyson Fury's not trying to fight Dillian White, neither Povetkin. He's trying to fight Khabib, and nobody. Tyson Fury has a fight to fulfill. He has to honor his trilogy. But the reason why he don't want to honor it because he cheated and he doesn't want to get exposed. So, anyways, my brother.
But Wilder not ready for Fury.
But you talking
the first fight.
Okay, he cheated. Didn't you say? You said. But okay, if he barely won the first fight, why did he have to cheat in the second fight even more?
bro, that's up. I don't know. You gotta ask Tyson Fury that.
I'm asking you that. I'm not talking to Tyson Fury. I'm talking to you. So why did Tyson Fury? Why Tyson Fury cheated? Because you acknowledged that he cheated. You said there was something clearly wrong with his right glove. You could clearly see padding being removed and distributed unevenly. So why did he have to cheat if he felt like he got all them skills?
But before he got dropped, he was handling Wilder.
Why he cheated in the first fight anyway? He cheated in the first fight anyway by tampering with his left hand. But if you felt like, okay, I tampered with my left hand, but I think I could beat Deontay Wilder, why he had to cheat even more in the second fight?
Because he got dropped in the first fight, man. That's all I can think. I don't know. I ain't Tyson Fury. All I know is
I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it.
Can't handle Fury right now, bro.
Okay, well, tell the man not to cheat. If he could handle Wilder, why he had to cheat? That makes no sense. You don't believe that. You don't believe that. Because if you believe that, you would have been able to explain to me why Tyson Fury had to cheat the second time if you felt like he could handle Deontay Wilder. But
he's been cheating his whole life, bro.
He been up
the first time he got caught, bro.
Right.
That's
so
the first time he got caught. Okay. So that's just something he do.
Okay.
That's something he do. That's
so you cool with cheating? So you cool with cheating? So you know he cheated, but you don't want to see the trilogy?
Yeah, I want to see the trilogy, but I'm telling you
so what are we talking about then?
As far as skill set, Wilder is not ready for that.
Supposedly, 80% of the people Deontay Wilder fought are more skilled than him, though, and he knocked them out. You could ask Luis Ortiz that. So Tyson it ain't all about skill. Right? At the end of the day, Wilder got that equalizer, which is his right hand, which is his power. He displayed it every single time he hopped in the ring. That's why Tyson Fury has to cheat. So if the man cheated, you acknowledge that. If the man owes Deontay Wilder a rematch, you know that. So what's the issue here? I don't even know what we talking about. I don't even know what we debating, bro. Because like I said, there's nothing really up for debate.
The first thing I said was it would be wise for him to take a tune-up fight and get his fundamentals right. Because if he had a tight defense, he wouldn't have got punched in the head with a tampered glove.
It don't matter though. It don't matter. It don't matter about his defense because Tyson Fury had different power because he cheated. In the trilogy, Tyson Fury is not going to have that much power. So he won't be that effective with his game plan in the second fight because he's pillow-fisted. So he won't be doing that type of damage to Deontay Wilder anyway. On the other hand, Wilder will still be able to deliver the same type of damage with one blow. And if you swim, you're going to get wet. If you box, you're going to get hit. All it takes is one. So if you make one mistake, if you're not perfect for 1 second, it's lights out. That's how I've always been with Deontay Wilder. If Luis Ortiz cheated like Tyson Fury did, he would have did the same thing to Deontay Wilder that Tyson Fury did and even more. So it ain't about defense. It's about the fact that Tyson Fury cheated. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is and where you calling from?
AKHi, this KB, bro. I'm calling from St. Louis. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. Let me go ahead and ask you, obviously.
Bro, look, first thing I want to say is I'm a big fan. I respect everything you're doing for this boxing community because I love this sport with a passion, bro. I love what you're doing, bro. I love the fact that you be speaking, bro. Like, I don't think nobody do. It's certain channels on this YouTube that's doing it, but you like in the top two. You like top two, top three, man.
I appreciate it.
I gotta give you your props, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Deontay, I always got Deontay on the top #1 slot. He's the entrepreneur of new media, and the whole thing about new media is the agenda is nothing but the whole absolute truth. So regardless of what the topic is, we always remain to the truth because the truth has to be spoken. You know what I'm saying? So when the truth is spoken, there's no contradiction.
Right. And that's why I respect you. And that's why I keep coming back.
Yes, sir.
That's why I keep coming back to hear what you got to say.
I bear witness there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.